My name is Hank Duhaime. I am currently a UX designer with Publicis Sapient, which is a big agency that works on a lot of different clients. I attended the HCI program from 2018 to 2020. I think what's most important and was most valuable from the HCI program was the sort of mindset change it made. A lot of the skills you can pick up in the classes are stuff that you could kind of Google on the job, sort of like Stack Overflow or finding how to like Affinity Mapping 101, whatever. You read a Medium article, you figure it out. But the mentality change of being around so many people who are kind of very, very focused on their career and focused on evolving and starting to learn how to network with one another and learn from one another, those sort of practices take time and exposure to really develop. And I think that's what helped as soon as I got into more of an industry setting was I was able to really talk shop with everybody about UX kind of stuff, feel comfortable in that sort of arena, and feel comfortable with sort of leading the conversation as opposed to being more taking a backseat role. Naturally, I think when joining a new team and also being sort of new to UX as an industry, there's going to be a lot of confusion, and there's going to be a lot of sitting in big meetings and zoning out within the first 5 minutes because you have absolutely no idea what's going on. Alphabet soup of acronyms, that kind of thing. And so it's just one of those things that it's tough for everybody. Nobody walks onto the job and knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing. It's you sort of by participating and by being present, you sort of start to absorb more and more things stick and more things start to click. So that's my 2 cents. And then of course the remote thing right now that everybody's going through is even trickier. But as long as you're kind of making your face aware, making yourself present, and people are starting to recognize you, you'll be put in more meetings and you'll start to slowly pick up what is all going on. Currently in the program, well, let's see. Everyone right now, well, I don't know when this is going out, but everyone right now is probably thinking about applications and probably thinking about how to position themselves to get a job out of here. I think one of the surefire ways or tried and true ways of putting yourself in a good position for jobs is networking. As much as I don't like spending time on networking, and I'd rather be like making a project and putting something on a portfolio, it's those personal connections and it's developing those advocates for you, those people who know who you are and what you're good at. That's the sort of superpower strength that gets you in almost. And it's not a matter of like, barging on someone's door you've never seen before and demanding that they recommend you on a whim. It's about kind of building up relationships, going to big events, sort of making small conversations, and making yourself kind of a member of a community that I think helps set apart people in applicant pools. With the pandemic going on right now, and with so many people more actively on their computers, I've found that the receptiveness to sort of like LinkedIn chats is really high, especially if you can find some sort of like, you find a conference, you find an organization like IXDA or something along those lines. You go to some event, you see someone who messaged in chat, you follow up from that event and you say, hey, I saw you were there. Can you explain more about this? I'm curious about learning more. You can find all these organic conversations, and people are actually somewhat more receptive nowadays because, like I said, they're on LinkedIn more often and they're on their computers. So definitely don't be afraid to just like be a fly on the wall and then send a follow-up email. People love that. Even if it's like a talk you watched of someone they gave a couple years ago and you're interested in learning more, like find their email, send them something. They'll love to chat about their work. If you're sure you want to do HCI, but you're not sure which program to go to, the sort of why Georgia Tech pitch, among the programs that I was considering, I found that Tech had the best wiggle room for exploration. There was just like the breadth of electives that you were able to take and how you were able to stretch that over a 2-year period, especially with the nice internship in between. It was a great chance, if you didn't really know what specific field of UX you wanted to go into, to be able to, for example, participate in research or do some TA work or take a couple extra classes that may or may not be relevant, but they're kind of interesting to you anyway. So great for that kind of relationship building. For people who aren't sure and they're kind of on the fence, I think I'll just go back to what I said earlier of anyone who goes into an HCI program usually is trying to make some sort of big career pivot, one that theoretically could be made by learning online and learning remotely. But the benefit I think you get from a program like this or any other boot camp or similar experience is that you're put in the arena with these very driven and like-minded individuals. You get a huge boost to your networking, and you start to build this community that you can sort of ping ideas off of later down the road, and you can kind of keep tabs on to see what everybody's up to and see what trends are emerging from the network. Plus, if you're interested, especially in like hardware kind of projects or projects that are involve very expensive things, those just tend to be all over university campuses, like VR headsets and like laser cutters and 3D printers and stuff, which is less easy to learn off of a YouTube video. Yeah, I guess I would just say that if you're going through a program like this, it's really easy to stay heads down and really easy to focus on your work and not really look around you. But I would encourage anyone who's going through this program or thinking about going through a similar change to every once in a while make time to be social, make time to talk to the people around you, because those kind of connections and those relationships will take you so much further down the road than necessarily memorizing all the bullet points on one of the PowerPoint slides in a class. Not to say that you shouldn't study. That's very important. Very important.